What is up, guys? Welcome back to another market update, and welcome back to the Ace Crypto YouTube channel. So we're going to jump straight in today. We are over the 1 trillion, but not by a lot. As you can see there, we are 20 billion over the 1 trillion. So moving on down, we can see the Bitcoin chart for today. Well, the Bitcoin price for today, 21,500. So we have come up a little bit in the past hour, but we've mainly just been going sideways, as you can see there. A little bit of a crab in motion. We'll jump straight over to the chart. No, that's not the charts. There's the charts. There we go. This is obviously the daily. You can see what's been happening with the daily. We did get bounced off this resistance there, and hopefully we're going to bounce back off this support and go back up. So I do expect more sideways motion. As you can see there, we're starting to come back down in terms of money flow. So if we do go on to the let's go to the 15 minute. We like the 15-minute chart. Let's do 15. Give me 2 seconds to space out the chart, because you do have to do this on CoinMarketCap. This is the 15 minutes. So as you can see there, we've literally just been bouncing, consolidating back and forth for pretty much for a long time now, for days and days and days. We come back down, we come back up. So there's not really a lot to talk about the price for now, but we do expect a drop incoming at some point soon. Definitely back down towards, really down low. So what do I expect is going to happen in the next 24 hours? I probably see us coming back up within this, between these green marks here, and it'll probably stay within these green marks, maybe a little bit over and maybe a little bit below, but nothing major movements. Let's jump back over. Ethereum 1,600, roughly a similar story. As you can see there, we did come up a little bit more than Bitcoin, but we've still been sideways in just a little bit. There's nothing really to report at the moment. So if we look on down, what else is happening? Ethereum, so we got XRPs number 7. Obviously these Binance USD have been jostling for slots quite a lot over the past couple of weeks, but Binance USD seems to be keeping the main slot there. Cardano is up a little bit, as you can see there, 2% over the last 7 days. I do expect Cardano to go up a little bit more, obviously with the Vassal Fork merger. I do see some good things happening for Cardano, but I don't like Cardano as a project, as you guys well know. Solana at $34 is a buying opportunity. Anything under 50 is a buying opportunity if you do like Solana, but make sure you do your research, guys, because Solana can be an iffy project. So moving on down, Dogecoin up 1%, nothing major there. Polkadot, I do like Polkadot. I like it better at $6, $5 than I do at $8 personally, but I will be waiting for a bit of a drop, and I might be picking a bag up of that. Obviously, Polygon's doing very well down here, 3% over the past week. Moving on down. So the big winners of the week are going to be things like Terra Luna Classic, because Terra Luna Classic's gone up 20% in the past 24 hours, I believe. So I can't remember where that is on the chart, actually, but it does say it somewhere anyway. So let's jump on over to the, we go 21% there, 22%. Very interesting for Luna Classic. I've always said this, I don't expect it to ever go past $1 ever again, but you never know in this space, guys. You never know. I think the name Luna has been tarnished too much, but then again, there's always new investors coming into crypto who have no idea pretty much of the past of Luna and Do Kwon. So it's anybody's game, essentially. As you can see there, ETH Classic is moving as well. A lot of people are jumping onto ETH Classic, well, the miners anyway. We got an article about that coming up very shortly. We got XMR, which is Monero. Monero is one of the anonymous blockchains, so it's very a bit dodgy for those reasons. XRP 2%, ADA 2%, SNX. We also have an article about SNX as well. As you can see there, $3 down from 3.2. Up from just under $3, so we've got 23 cents increase there. So that's roughly the daily chart. So we jump on the weekly, just have a little look, just to see what we can see. Luna 40% over the week, lovely. Atom's doing quite well as well. You should look into the Atom or the Cosmos ecosystem. Seems like an interesting one. We got Curve Finance, DeFi's doing quite well there. That's a new DeFi project. What else have we got? Nexo, SNX, obviously, Chili's. I've been seeing this a lot. I'm not too sure why this is doing what it's doing, to be honest with you. As you can see there over the month, 124% in a bear market. It doesn't really seem like a coin that I want to be investing in personally, because it seems it's just like a sports NFT utility coin type of situation. So it's not really something I'd invest in. But very, very interesting in terms of price. Anyway, let's move on over to some news. Got some interesting news coming today. Mastercard partners with Binance to bring payments across the high streets. 90 million shops, sorry, not 70 million, 90 million. So that's very, very interesting. It's launching in Argentina first. And basically, where does it say? Down the bottom here somewhere. Mastercard says it does not currently settle payments to merchants in cryptocurrencies. Instead, payments are converted to fiat currency to make purchases. So basically, it's done through Bitcoin, but obviously you end up with fiat money, which is obviously cash money. I say cash money, it's obviously going to be digital, but you know what I mean, like dollars and euros and whatnot. So that is a very, very, very big partnership there for Binance and Mastercard. Very, very big news there. Moving on to the SEC. SEC told to hit Ripple, not folks who don't know who Brad Garlinghouse is. So Brad Garlinghouse, obviously the CEO or whatever you want to call him of Ripple. So there, John Deaton, the lawyer representing more than 70,000 XRP holders. So this is just people that hold XRP. And an action lawsuit against the SEC says it's unfair to punish people who have no idea who Brad Garlinghouse is. So basically, he's sticking up for the everyman rather than going into the case between Ripple and the SEC itself. It's a separate court case, essentially, guys. Separate court case. So basically, what he's talking about is obviously the people who bought, Ripple's ICO or XRP's ICO all these years ago, 10 years ago. Maybe on Coinbase or whatever, that they didn't realize what they were buying into, essentially, And then obviously the SEC coming out and saying more than 10 years later that Ripple or XRP is a security, basically. So a very, very interesting article there. There's always more news happening about Ripple and the SEC and all the court cases. So it's very, very interesting to keep up with, guys. So moving on. Binance to suspend ETH deposits and withdrawals during the merge. Very, very interesting, this one. So this is all to do with Binance supporting the merge. They support the Ethereum migration to proof of stake model. What else does it say? So it will do so on the 6th of September for the Bellatrix consensus layer upgrade, and also the 15th for the Paris execution layer. So it should all be finished by September the 15th. Very, very good news there. Basically, it's saying if there's no fork or anything like that, then they'll just reopen deposits and withdrawals as soon as possible. But if there is some form of splitting of the fork, another scenario would be the chain splitting into two competing chains and a new token created. I doubt this will happen, to be honest with you, but you never know. So if this does happen, then they'll obviously take a snapshot of the ETH balances before the upgrade and then give you said tokens, 1-to-1 ratio, obviously. But I very much doubt we'll see a fork token going, for the Ethereum merger, because we already have the Ethereum Classic. So I don't expect much to actually happen with this. I do expect withdrawals and deposits to be open relatively soon after this actually transitions. So looking very, very good for Ethereum there. Moving on. So this one's a really interesting one. Hold on 2 seconds. My computer's having a funny 5 minutes. And there we go. Synthetics. So as we can see, where is he? Synthetics. Give me 2 seconds. It's not what we want. We want the daily right there. Synthetics, SNX. We're talking about that coin right there. So jump on over and we can see that basically they were bootstrapping the network basically to obviously increase the usability of the SNX protocol, basically, and now they've reached a point where they think they don't need to obviously bootstrap the network anymore, so they're turning off, as they say here, the SNX money printer once and for all. So they can basically cap the supply at 300 million, which I think is a good amount, good supply for these guys. I think it's a very, very good supply for a total supply anyway. I do believe this is probably one of the better ideas they've had for this one, and it's going to allow people to obviously trust and use synthetics a lot more. I am skeptical obviously on the DeFi aspect of it. You all know that. I think DeFi is going to be hit first and hardest when regulations actually come in, but if you want to make the most of the time before the regulations come in, I think SNX isn't going anywhere for now. Very, very high yield returns. Look, very, very high yields for SNX stakers. So very, very interesting on that one, guys. If you do want to look into SNX finance, if you do want to get involved in some form of DeFi play, I think these ones are probably one of the more reliable at the moment. So this article here is talking about the Chainlink supply. So it's an interesting article talking about how the last time the Chainlink supply was this low, basically the coin crashed, which is very, very interesting there. This time they're saying a lot less people are using the network, so that's basically the reason why a lot of the coins are dwindling. I can't really understand this too much, to be honest with you guys. This means the exchange reserves are currently within the same range as their current 6-month low. Interesting, but a lot people are not really in the crypto industry at the moment right now, because the prices are low, so people are not massively paying attention to the space, When people are paying attention to the space, none of this will be a worry. I'm very bullish on Chainlink, for example. I do like Chainlink a lot, and I do hold some Chainlink. So make sure you do your research before you start buying, guys, but Chainlink's a good coin from me. Taiwan to launch digital ministry use Web3 against Chinese cyber attacks. So the Chinese cyber attacks coming thick and fast for Taiwan. As you guys may have heard, there's some problems with Taiwan. We might be going to seeing some form of warfare happening between China and Taiwan in the next couple of years. But who knows essentially what the future holds, to be honest, guys. But obviously these guys are going to be trying to use Web3 to prevent all the cyber attacks incoming from China. Very, very interesting there. To combat the DDoS attacks, a lot of different things, to be honest with you, but it seems very, very interesting, this one. So good for them, guys, good for them. I like to see people the defense against cyber criminals. Moving on, what else have we got? Miners eyeing up ETH Classic, exactly. So the problem with the ETH Classic, obviously, is the 51% attacks. Who owns the most miners owns the network, essentially, and this is the problem with the ETH Classic. The hash rate is at an all-time high, which reduces the risk, which means obviously the more people actually validating on the network, the less likely there is to be a 51% attack. So that's good there, good news for Ethereum here. But on the other side of the coin, Ethereum developer addresses the node centralization concerns in run-up of the ETH merger. So if we jump on into this one, we can see basically the majority of the 4,653 active Ethereum nodes are being run through a centralized web providers like Amazon Web Services. So experts believe this could become a central point of failure. So it's very, very interesting. There's a graph down here. As you can see, Amazon literally controls, or most net mining or more staking running through the Amazon network. So obviously Amazon's a centralized company, so people are worried that Amazon also will end up controlling majority share or become a point of what do they call it? Central point of failure. So I don't think this is going to make massive amount of differences, to be honest with you, but it's something to consider nonetheless. So these are all the different protocols in which people are running staking protocols through. Very, very interesting on that one, guys. So is Ethereum truly decentralized? You tell me, guys. You tell me down below in the comments. Moving on, we've got another DPEG from a stablecoin. The Waves-backed stablecoin USDN breaks the DPEG for the fourth time this year, down to 90 cents. It's an algorithmic stablecoin, and we know what happens with algorithmic stablecoins thanks to Terra Luna. So obviously, it's not doing particularly well. I don't really like this stablecoin, to be honest with you. I believe with stablecoins, we need CBDCs. We need CBDCs and not just random decentralized protocols coming in trying to create reliable currencies, essentially, or reliable stablecoins. So I do think CBDCs would be the best thing to happen to stablecoins and the best thing to happen to stability in the crypto industry. Obviously, in the future, is very, very worrying for the control that the government would hold through CBDCs, but obviously to make it all literally a stable coin, it needs to have some form of backing that isn't algorithmic, essentially. USDT are probably doing the best, but even they are not 100% backed by proper assets, to be honest. So moving on. The US senatorial candidate expresses support for Bitcoin, says the dollar is a melting ice cube. He's not wrong. He's not wrong there. So Bruce Fenton, he is the senatorial candidate for New Hampshire, has extended his support for Bitcoin. Brilliant. We don't need politicians to tell us what money is throughout human history. For thousands of years, people have figured it out. I mean, we are a pretty intelligent species, let's be honest. Whether it's gold, silver, or Bitcoin, the fact that our money right now is broken. Politicians broke it. They have unlimited money and they can print it from thin air whenever they like. Pretty much, this is the problem. Obviously, the printed money machine go brr. The US dollar hasn't been backed since the 70s, I believe, so it's a very difficult thing, because obviously it's all backed by debt, and how can you back anything by debt? Longevity. Anyway, moving on, the Taliban outlaws crypto. This is very interesting. I wouldn't have thought this would be a thing. I thought the Taliban would obviously want to be involved in cryptocurrency because of the sanctions imposed on them. So basically what they're saying is central bank give us an order to stop all money charges. Yeah, so a lot of them have been arrested and stuff for obviously trying to sell cryptocurrencies. There's a national ban in Afghanistan of cryptocurrencies. Afghans have been storing their riches in cryptocurrencies in order to protect it from the reach of the Taliban. So obviously cross-border payments is possible, even with sanctions in place using cryptocurrencies. So people are getting the money out of Dodge essentially, and the Taliban are not happy with it. So it seems like they're enforcing the crypto rule, the crypto ban for the government by the looks of it, because I'm assuming they are the government these days. So it's not very good for those reasons. It's a very odd situation. Like I said, I thought they would have been all in for the to avoid sanctions, but apparently not, guys. Apparently not. Cardano shows growth on the market, obviously because of the merger that happened a couple of days ago. That seemed to have gone well for them, but I don't see much in the future. Moving on here, the former SEC chairs. Yes, he's basically calling. Former Securities Exchange Commission Chair Jay Clayton has acknowledged that getting consensus for crypto regulations in the United States appears elusive for the involved parties, but challenged by governments to take the first step. So basically, he's telling people to take advantage of cryptos before it's too late, essentially. Before it's too late. The ability power quick payments alongside custody of assets digitally and call it SC blah blah blah. Yeah, tokenized assets. So basically he's telling people to get involved sooner rather than later. So now we're going to get on to some interesting stuff in terms of NFTs and Metaverse things. So banking behemoth Muvg invests in Animoca brands. Animoca. So I always get that word confused every time I read it. Animoca brands. So we all know who Animoca brands are. If we don't, we shall learn anyway. So basically, they own the Sandbox, Axie Infinity, OpenSea, and Dapper Labs. So obviously, very very big in the gaming industry, and obviously very big in the Metaverse industry. So they've raised a hell of a lot of money. Basically, what this is talking about, they've just raised a hell of a lot of money to going towards the Metaverse projects. So looking very very bullish for them. Mainly Web3 based there, but obviously they do the Sandbox, Axie Infinity, OpenSea, which is obviously for your NFTs, Sandbox for gaming, Axie Infinity for gaming. So it looks very very interesting for them in the future, I gotta be honest. And Animoca brands look like an absolute behemoth of the future, guys, I gotta be honest. So moving on, we got Phil Spencer from Xbox saying he's keen on metaverses but cautious about players play to earn games, because people, they're not really too happy about play to earn games, especially in terms of NFTs in games. It could be done very tastefully, but I very much doubt it's going to be done tastefully. It's going to be done in a very money-grabbing way most of the time for cryptocurrencies in terms of games and NFTs. So you've got to be very, very careful in the way they implement the play-to-earn features. So they're going to be very, 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 very careful on how he deals with this in the future. My view on Metaverse is that gamers will be in the Metaverse for 30 years. When you're playing games, if you're playing World of Warcraft game, you're playing in Roblox, you're playing in a racing game where everybody is in a shared world. Yep, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So, and the last thing we have at the moment is going to be Eminem and Snoop Dogg to perform their Bored Ape Yacht Club track at the MTV Music Awards. If you haven't heard it, it's pretty cool. I dig it. It's an interesting one. The other side collaboration between Yuga Labs, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and the investment giant Animoca brands. They are everywhere, guys. Animoca brands. They're going to be an absolute giant of the future with the Metaverse projects. So, thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Hope you're liking and following, because we go do a new video every single day. I'd appreciate any likes and follows at the moment, and obviously we go live on TikTok every day too. Make sure you're following all the other platforms. Twitter is going to be the best in the world for some form of crypto investments. So I definitely recommend getting some form of Twitter account on the go and follow all the people that I'm following. It's going to give you a really good Twitter account and a really good Twitter feed. So we got Luna Burn trending there. Look, okay. I'm assuming that's to do with Terra Luna. It is indeed. Remember that Luna C was a member of the 100 Club. It was indeed. Luna make history again. I mean, we're up 40% over the past week for Luna, so very, very interesting. Yep, so make sure you do your research before you throw any money at these companies, guys, because obviously this one's at all-time literally zero. So make sure you're doing your research if you do want to invest in things like Luna. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.